Hello everybody, today we're going to be looking at how to use basic shapes to draw literally anything that you want. So there's an endless amount of shapes in the world, but I don't want to go through breaking down each one with you. So here's a quick rundown on some of the most common shapes that'll be used. Circles, ovals, triangles, rectangles, and trapezoids are going to be the most common shapes that you'll use in most of your drawings. But shapes can come in many forms, and in any form really. So do keep that in mind. Let's start with a quick exercise. Here we have a picture of a light bulb. Now I could just go ahead and try drawing this light bulb without any sort of guidelines. But then it'll probably come out looking wonky and disproportionate. This is why we should always break down our drawings into smaller, basic shapes. This will ensure that our drawing will come out symmetrical as possible and looking as similar to our reference photo as possible. Okay, so immediately when I look at this light bulb, I see a big round circle at the top. I always like to draw a line in the middle, especially when it's an angle from the front. This will ensure symmetry on both sides of my drawing. I also see a rectangle and a trapezoid, as well as another rectangle and another trapezoid at the bottom. I also notice a mini trapezoid right at the top. I then draw a rectangle connecting my circle to the base of my lamp. Now once all my guidelines are drawn in, I can go ahead and connect them and bring my lamp to life. I then, again using rectangles and basic shapes, draw in the final details of my lamp. I noticed there was some swirly parts, but I didn't really care about making it exactly like my reference photo, so I just made my own swirls. Lastly, I'll add in some final details. And there you have it. It may not be perfect, but hey, it's a lamp. And don't worry if you can't get yours looking perfect on the first try. Just try your best to take your time and draw very lightly, especially when it's your guidelines. Now let's move on to something a little bit harder. I want you to try to draw this gorilla with me. We again begin by breaking it down into simple shapes. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, using lines and simple shapes, I add in a rough outline of the face shape. Remember that everybody makes mistakes. Here, I saw that the butt was a little too far back, so I erased it and redrew it. We can now go ahead and add a little bit of detail. And there is our gorilla. Now let's move on to our final challenge. If you're feeling comfortable, then feel free to follow along. We're going to break down this man into a bunch of simple shapes, creating a guideline for our drawing. Everyone has their own way of doing this. When drawing, there really is no right or wrong. So if you're feeling comfortable, then you can go ahead and experiment with this. You can pause the video on the photo and try doing this all on your own. And for those of you who still need help with guidelines, my next video will go in depth on guidelines and some simple ways to create them for both body figures and the face. Finally, now that you've learned to break down images into shapes, let's practice creating our own images with our own shape. I find the easiest way to do this and the best exercise for this is to practice doodling little monsters and creatures. If it's your first time, I encourage you to follow along with me. Use your ovals, circles, and all the shapes that we've learned to create these little monsters which we can use to fill up the whole entire page with. The thing I love best about this style of drawing is that I find it to be the best way to practice using shapes and creating your own drawings. You can use your imagination as much as you want. Think of anything that you want and bring it to life on the paper. Here, I draw the eye using a bean shape. This is a really useful shape for this style of drawing, and you'll find yourself using it a lot. You can use it for mouths and eyes. We can also draw other things like slime. That's a really simple one using basic shapes. That also looks pretty cool. Now, if you followed along all the way to here on this drawing, then I challenge you to fill out the rest of the page on your own. Here's what mine looks like after doing so. If you've watched it here, you should now be able to draw any figure that you want by breaking it down into simpler shapes. Keep practicing with your doodles, and now you can draw literally anything by using this method. And for those of you interested, stay tuned for our next video where we'll go into depth on how to draw bodies and heads using guidelines. So please subscribe and thank you for watching. If I missed something or if you guys want me to cover another topic, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you.